Hello everyone and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway for the 17th race of the Sundrop Cup Series season, this being the Gatorade 400 at Daytona. Jay Jefferson, Cody Goforth, your front row. Jefferson was the runner-up to this season's Sundrop 500 when Sebastian Kukulon, who starts third, passed him. Cody Goforth was leading coming out of turn 2 at the Sundrop 500 in season 1, lost that race to Tib Foster. So we have two drivers looking for their first Daytona wins today, two of the fastest drivers in the grid. As you look through this field, you'll see a lot of guys fighting. This is the chance to win a race and make the chase. For a driver like Alex Benyako, Larry Hagan, Joseph Strigley, Dusty Neal, Brady Burkhart, a win today could mean a chase berth. But for drivers like Jefferson, Goforth, and Kukulon, and even Irving Allison to an extent, most of those guys are pretty much locked into the chase as we go. We'll go through the field here in a second, but let's talk about the points system points outlook coming into this race, with 6 drivers locked in, being Peter Onjak, Sebastian Kukulon, Cody Goforth, Colton Lane, Jay Jefferson, and Brandon Morris all locked into the chase. We have 6 spots up for grabs. Peter Onjak, a top 15 finish here, pretty much locks his regular season title up. You can only gain about 51 points in one race. He has an 83-point lead over the 19 of Kukulon. So if Onjak can fight from the back, he can get up here. Tib Foster, Irving Allison, Matty Porta, Carson Bowers, not safe yet. They could lock themselves in. Foster and Irving Allison much more could lock themselves in with just a decent run today. Doesn't even have to be too great. But you got Porta, Bowers, Anderson, Reed, Friesen, Neal, Benyako, DeLello, Burkhart, and a good chunk more drivers fighting for a chase berth. Let's go ahead through the field, talk about a few of those here and on this pace lap before this race goes green. But it is Jay Jefferson on pole, a strong superspeedway guy, one of the fastest cars in the grid. No reason to doubt why he wouldn't be on pole. Cody Goforth in second, Sebastian Kukulon third. Give a shout out to Riley Spurleytube coming out in fourth, Irving Allison fifth, Alex Benyako, Larry Hagan, Brady Burkhart, Joseph Strigley, Dusty Neal, your top 10. Now what you're looking at, there's Alloway Curtis, there's Carter Friesen, there's Morris, 4-time winner this season. He's locked in because of those 4 wins. He is actually below Tib Foster in the standings. Not locked in on points yet, but no one else can really fall out and score more wins than Morris for him to lose a wild card spot. Matty Porta in that wild card hunt with 1 win from this season at Road America. Onj Auto qualified together, 3 of them up here, with Peter Onjak actually starting 17th, Foster 18th, Ray 19th. While 2 Onj Auto cars got nicked for post-qualifying inspection, those being Jesse Turner and Peter Onjak. They will go to the back of the grid. Evan Hunter makes his first start with the 35 team, the Texas Roadhouse Dodge, looking to do good today. Hunter is in this car because Diego Yepes has moved back to the 77, as Logan Cloud went over to Ronnie Hank Racing for this weekend after he said that he was done with the Monster Motorsports debacle that 77 team has been struggling through this season. Logan Cloud is only scheduled for 1 more race this year in the CFRO 97. We'll see what his future holds there, but it is Evan Hunter in the 35 this weekend for GDI. There's Carson Bowers. He's 10th in points. He's been great on points all year, but he has to have a good day today and score some points again. His last 4 races, his average finish was 33rd. Anderson Reed, another driver on the bubble, looking to make his way in, at least through a wild card spot. Looking at some other drivers back there. There is Yepes. Beside him is his dominant driver at Monster, Colton Lane. Monster has 3 of their 6 cars in the chase as it stands. TSR duo Eli Bright, Ryan Butcher. This will be Eli's final start at Daytona. Jacob Edson, Luke Evans in the 81. Shepherd Racing called upon Ricky Freeman Jr. for his debut in the 89. You got a couple cars at the back with the 04 and 44 failing inspection. We'll go ahead down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Gatorade 400.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. For the 3rd time this season, it's Jay Jefferson, being the second of only 2 pole winners to win multiple poles this year. Jay's looking to put this car into victory lane at Daytona, a victory that has escaped TSR for a long time. Let's see if he can finally get it done and finish 1 better position than he did in the Sundrop 500 at Daytona. With that, the engines are fired. We're rolling off for these 50 laps here at the Gatorade 400. Jefferson Goforth front row, Kukulon Spurleytube row 2, Allison Benyako, Hagen, Burkhart, Strigley, Neal, your top 10. Got a lot to cover in terms of points and stuff, so let's go ahead over that. As we mentioned, Onjak, Kukulon, Goforth, Lane, Jefferson, Morris, all locked in. Tim Foster, 6th in points, can pretty much lock himself in today with a decent finish. Irving Allison, Matty Porta, Anderson, Reed also have wins. They sit 8th, 9th, and 11th in the standings. Reed fighting for a wild card spot right now. But the important thing about that is if Irving and Matty fall out, then you have more drivers with wins outside of the top 10, which means some of those points positions for wild card would be out of it. Meanwhile, it's Carson Bowers in 10th, Friesen 12th, Neil Benyako, and DeLello. That's pretty much the extent of the guys that can point their way into the chase still. Realistically, not mathematically. But must-win scenarios are for Burkhart, Hagen, Murray, Strigley, Curtis, Logan Cloud, who DNQ'd, but Stephen Wallace Jr., Yepes, Ray, and Eves also have a shot at it. So you have about 15 drivers that are really looking for a good day here because they need it to continue into the postseason. As it stands, though, we'll see who will get to victory lane. The 48 and 19 were the Bad Fast duo in the Sundrop 500. Will they repeat today? Cody Goforth, Spurleytube on the outside of him trying to keep up. Green flags in the air, 50 laps ahead of us at the Gatorade 400. Doing 3 wide, scattering down the backstretch already as Kukulon is looking to make short work of Jefferson up in front. These two were the only two that could pass each other for the lead in the Sundrop 500. Now, Kukulon jumps out early, wants to take that lead for himself. They got the BGM duo pushing them. Irving Allison bottom and Cody Goforth top, but it's Kukulon that's going to lead lap 1. Spurleytube already bouncing off the wall. That is a tricky part of Daytona, is to keep it out of the wall in the tri-oval when you're 2 or 3 wide. And Kukulon, now your new race leader, as he gets Irving Allison to push him. There's Hagen, Benyako in it. And as the field kind of separates a little bit, Spurleytube going to drop to the back immediately in that 28 car. Close to Morris there. And look at Peter Onjak. 1 lap is in the books. He's already passed 5 cars, and he's looking for even more if he could get around Luke Evans and Peter Onjak and Ryan Butcher, in the 88. So that 44 already on fire, moving through the field, blazing past the slower cars in a hurry. But up in front, it's Sebastian Kukulon, the Toyota dominance, with him and BGM's Irving Allison now first and second. Hagen is in third to lead that TSR torch, as Joseph Strigley is going to be the one bouncing off the wall that time. Hagen clears for third. Now Dusty Neal going to make it 3 wide already with Benyako. Forces Benyako up as Jefferson and Goforth. Now Goforth's going to tuck to the middle. But now Neal's going to get that push from the 91 of Jeff Alloway coming off of the corner. Down the back straightaway. All 40 cars still under a blanket as they go right now. And there you see that Claritin number 25, Carson Bowers. That's a big driver there. He is the cutoff in the chase right now. 0 wins, but has been Mr. Consistency this season, except for the last 4 races. His consistency got him 33rd in the average finish for the last 4 races. He's hoping for an improvement today. He has teammate Roger Ray right behind him as Jefferson's going to nick the wall there. Almost got bounced off and into Matty Porta as Larry Hagen's taking that spot. Onjak and Strigley real close to making contact there. And Irving Allison's looking for a move in. Will get it done on Larry Hagen as they go side by side. But Strigley, that's the second time he got the outside wall, and that's going to drop that 63 car right to the rear, as he is now at the very tail end of the field. We'll see if Strigley can rebound that 63 towards the front. As you just saw, while our camera was going crazy getting back to the front, Alloway just went top to bottom. Benyako just snuck himself into a gap that was not there in front of Cody Goforth. Goforth had to let up big time there. That's going to put Alloway third. Now Benyako's there. You see Jefferson working the outside as the 2 Toyotas lead so far. Ooh, I thought they were about to go 4 wide there with Friesen. Now Hagen's bouncing off the wall. A lot of cars bouncing off the wall in these early stages as Irving Allison is going to take the fight to Kukulon and try to lead this as a Toyota and give the lead now to Irving Allison in the 16 for BGM as the field continues to splinter apart down this back straightaway. Here we go, coming off the corner. Irving out in front, but Jeff Alloway now has some momentum from Dusty Neal. We'll see if he can get up there try to lead this race for Pedal to Metal Racing. He's never driven a super speedway before, had to be entered in the test with Evan Hunter and Brian Rodriguez earlier this weekend so that they could be cleared for super speedway racing. And who would have guessed that he would be leading at Daytona in just his 10th career start in the NSDCA? Give it to Alloway out in front in that 91. Now you got Neil Goforth back there. Alex Beniaco's even still in this. So we got a lot of strong cars up front. It's only been 5 laps. Yeah, you really can't figure out who the contenders will be yet, but we've seen the 19 was able to hold up front for a bit. Now the 91 is holding up front for a bit. We'll see who else can. Too wide down the back straightaway. There's Carter Friesen, the owner of the 91 team. Friesen announced that he will be going to Pedal Metal Racing once again, back to his own team in the Sundrop Cup Series this year. Or for next year, rumored to be the number 70 entry like they ran with Eric Monaco, handful of truck races a couple of years ago. Irving Allison all over the back. That's not Irving Allison, that's Cody Goforth. I feel just as bad for the Butcher Gatorade Motorsports spotters than I do for myself. You see that 16 on the outside there. Both of them are dark green fronts with orange backgrounds. I don't know why they're running the same race with the same scheme, but that has to be confusing for the spotters whenever they get too close to each other. You gotta have some good color recognition there. Alex Beniaco up to 3rd, Carter Friesen 4th. Both of these drivers are in a must-win scenario. If they win this race, they can make the chase. See Friesen going. Friesen's gonna go even lower than Beniaco. I don't think he can get by him, though. Alloway's too far behind to be worrying about the points right now. He's 30th in the standings, and again, only made 9 races. He wouldn't get a waiver anyway for the chase for a wild card spot. But now, Alloway out in front is Beniaco's up here. Look at Carson Bowers now. Top 10 run with Roger Ray pushing him. Bowers needs some good points. Anderson Reed's going to go spinning down the back, and we got a spin at the back of the back of the pack. Big crash on the front straightaway. And we have many cars torn up here at Daytona. Ton of cars in the wall. Couple guys made it out of there. And we're going to be under caution for the first time today. As now Jeff Alloway's out in front. Friesen's going to look to the inside. I don't know if he can get there in that 85. Is going to try to get a nose to the inside. Alloway throws the block 3 wide as they come on through. And at lap 8 of 50, we have a caution here at Daytona. That's a wild one, and Alloway is going to lead us around. Jeff Alloway leads us back. Joseph Strigley's car is destroyed. He is done, and they're still scattering back here. Where's Stephen Walls Jr. going in the 65, trying to keep it back on track as he's trying to pace them back around. Get this field all set back up for this restart, but oh boy, we had a collision on the front stretch. There you see the 55 of Morris was in it. Austin Murray, Eli Bright were in it. Jesse Turner. Ricky Freeman Jr. may or may not have been in it. Same with Monaco. Luke Evans' car beat up. William Duncan's beat up. But Joseph Strigley's destroyed. Anderson Reed is destroyed. That is a big fight for him. Riley Spurleytube's day is done. And we're under caution for the first time today here at Daytona with a bunch of torn up race cars. There are no pit stops on the super speedways, or there shouldn't be. Fuel is good. Tires can last the 50 laps, so we should be able to just get you back to the action right here. Don't have to cover pit stops. But this is a new thing, as Tim Foster's actually... Okay, so we got a couple guys coming on down. They might be repairing damage from scraping the outside wall. I saw Foster and Neal were both scraping the outside wall coming on in, so they might be coming in more to repair those cars, get back out there, and get going. See Yepes coming on in, and a good portion of cars at the back. So we have a big crash on the front straightaway that's going to take out a couple contenders. We'll go ahead, get a quick replay, bring you guys back to the action here at Daytona right after this. First incident of the day, Austin Murray's going to be the one scraping the wall. Anderson Reed nowhere to go, hits him and bounces off, and it's going to spark a chain reaction in front of the back half of the grid. A big hit there by Kyle Corbett as well as Joseph Strigley, Ryan Butcher. That poor HBP car totaled. A lot of cars were involved in this one. Here's another angle of it with Austin Murray. He bounces off of Diego Yepes, sends Diego into the wall while the 24 slides, and you see a lot more drivers pile in, but a great job by Murray to sneak through it. As you see guys like Spurleytube, Duncan, and Luke Evans spinning in front of him. 24 gets out relatively unscathed. William Duncan went for an evasive maneuver, and you're going to see he passes Morris in the grass. What a drive there, but makes contact with Morris back up into Luke Evans. Couldn't slow it down in time. and he's going to pile in with Jesse Turner, Ricky Freeman Jr. Spurley Tube gives him a bit of a nudge there. On board with Anderson Reed in the 3. You see Murray just get up and into that outside wall. Real hard to keep your line going through the tri-oval. The 3 spins. Everyone almost gets by him. Mikey Yamakaze got a piece, and then Kyle Corbett finishes off Anderson Reed in the Wawa Chevrolet. On board with Riley Spurley Tube back here. He was at the very back of this one. You're going to see a lot of cars ducking out of the way as he tries to get through. Eli Bright actually just comes straight back up in front of him. Most of the field would have been fine if Eli had not just come back up the track, and it's going to cause Eric Monaco, Jesse Turner. You see Duncan and Luke Evans both going to get hit by Spurley Tube here at the end of this one. But the big crash here at Daytona, the second time it's happened in the Tri-Oval in 2 years in the Cup Series. We got the big one here at Daytona early on. Multiple cars involved in this one in the Gatorade 400 at Daytona. Back live here at Daytona after the big run strikes on lap number 9. Couple cars are out of this event. The 06 of Kyle Corbett, Joseph Strigley in the 63, ending his hope for a championship this year. Riley Spurley Tube, Anderson Reed, Ryan Butcher all out. Ricky Freeman Jr. still on pit road. William Duncan was unable to even meet minimum speed, catching back up to the pack. The car was only running at a max speed of 165 miles an hour, heading down into the corners about half a lap behind the race leaders trying to catch up. The NSDCA decided that would be too much. They will park it. They will be monitoring the 07, 8, 04, 81, 77, and 24, as well as the 55 on this restart to see if they will be able to maintain a proper race speed. Coming back down the front straightaway, Jeff Alloway, Carter Friesen, Roger Ray, Cody Goforth, Carson Bowers, your top 5. Green flags back in the air at Daytona. Field's going to stay single file for the most part up front as Alloway absolutely got off like a rocket. Now they're looking at the back. Monaco, Bright. They'll give him about a lap to warm up and a couple laps at speed, and then we'll see what it looks like. But it is now Jeff Alloway out in front in a very different kind of race as Friesen is going to jump down to the inside early with Cody Goforth. He was trying to do this on the race back to the line. Now Friesen's going to do it here, and that's going to put that 85 to the point for Sauber. A must-win scenario for Carter Friesen is possibly shaping up here as he moves on to the front. There's Bowers, Eves. Look at Evan Hunter in the 35 up in this top 10 there, as well as his teammate for this race, Stephen Wallace Jr. There's Irving, Jay Jefferson, Kukulon were back there. There's Burkhart, Onjak in the 44. More. Okay, so it looks like for sure the 55 is caught up to race speed. He is well in the draft. We'll see what the 24 is hustling, and we'll see what the rest of them do. There's Ricky Freeman Jr. bringing that 89 back onto the track. So we'll take a look, compare him coming down the back straightaway here, especially with the race leader. Not really in the draft, or not really getting dragged in the draft. So you're hitting 201 into the corners. These guys are hitting 200. These guys are hitting 194, 195, so they have all met minimum speed. We'll see. Ricky Freeman Jr. will be all alone in that 89, but he is also on the damaged clock. As Peter Onjak's down pit road, a fuel leak on the 44, and that's not what your regular season points leader wanted to see. Peter Onjak is down pit road, and they're going to have to repair that car. And that is big for the 44 team. Could cost him a ton of time, a ton of points, a ton of spots. As they come off the corner, here we go. Roger Ray on the very outside. So now Peter's probably going to have to hope that maybe there's another chance that he can get back on the lead lap if there's somehow another caution to get the free pass. But there's Freeman Jr. in the 89. Those four, yeah, they have met minimum speed. 195 is above minimum speed. And that means pretty much everyone should be good to go and continue on in this event. Even if they are in the draft, that is in the draft. But we'll see as it goes. At super speedways, of course, we want to be a bit more strict on minimum speed because of the fast speeds and these guys flying up on people. You don't want them to just run people over. Jay Jefferson back into the top 5 with Irving Allison now. And this is when we were saying the BGM spotters probably upset on the stands right now. Look at second and third. Can't even tell half the time who is who, as Jefferson's going to go with the one that jumps to the inside, that being Irving Allison. Looking a bit further back, taking a look through this field, seeing who's in the draft, who isn't. There's Tim Foster. Gatlin, Downey, Roger Ray, Edson barely hanging on. Neal and Yepes going at it. Yepes, I wonder if he's trying to sabotage the 94 because he doesn't want Neal to be going up there and being ahead of Anderson Reed and possibly taking those bonus points away from him. So these two are side by side. It's costing him big time, and that's going to cost him a chance at this race win. They're not going to be able to catch back up without another caution. Onjak is still on pit road in that 44 car, so that car is going to go multiple laps down, and that is heartbreaking to see for a driver who was looking to lock up the regular season title today. He's going to have to wait probably till Chicagoland, though he still has a pretty good margin as Irving Allison is going to dispatch Friesen really quickly and bring that BGM 16 to the point. Now you got Jay Jefferson looking to the inside. Burkhart, must-win scenario for that 99 team. He's there. Matty Porta's up here. Kukulon's coming back into this. There's Alloway, Max Anderson. Stephen Wallace Jr. really swung it high and then went back low in that 65, trying to get any momentum he can. Let's take a look at the tail end of this pack. That's Gatlin Downey. That's your top 22 cars. So 22 cars in this front pack as they run right now. As they run, and Hagan and Eve's going to jump down to the bottom. Roger Ray's losing time, Edson's losing time, and Dusty Neal's losing a ton of time. I think that is going to be his championship hopes, his chase hopes dashed without a miracle at Chicagoland to boost that 94 back up. Though, Onjak's still on pit road. He's that team, you know what? They're probably not even worried. They're locked into the chase. This is going to be probably one of their first sub-lead lap finishes of the season. He's been really good this year. That 44 as Evan Hunter bounces off the wall. So he's probably not too worried. I mean, there's not much you can do at this point. There are 34 cars left. You're last now. And, you know, there's only so much you can hope for with Kukulon and others falling out of this race. But Friesen now to the inside of Jefferson. Maybe Jay's not going to be able to get a chance back at the race lead because Carter Friesen wants it. That 85's going for it as here comes Kukulon in the 19. He's going to be on the inside. I did see Ricky Freeman Jr. in the 89. He was pacing on around. We actually got to make sure. Oh, God, he is not meeting minimum speed at all. Hopefully that he. Oh God, I think they're going to catch up to him before he comes down pit road. He is running much slower than the leaders in that 89 as they shoot down the back straightaway. We'll see though, as there is Irving out in front. We'll see if Freeman Jr. gets down pit road in time. As that'll be the second car out for not meeting minimum speed. As here they go through 3 and 4. If he just gets to the apron, they should be good. And that he will. Freeman's going to get it off the track, so good job by Ricky Freeman Jr. to get it off the track, and good job by the NSDCA officials. We didn't have much more time before catching that. Of course, they kind of have a lack of situational awareness sometimes while they're on the track. But that does take the 89 out. That puts us to 33 cars. So if Onjak comes back out on track, he should be able to pick that up. We'll also have to review to see if the 44... Well, he might not even come back on track at this point. You see these guys, they are in the draft, so they're working together. But, I mean, it's not like you can test their regular pace. 192 is much more than these guys are doing. 201, so that's 9 miles per hour. Even if it was the stricter rules of 10 miles per hour at the super speedways, they should still be good to go. Max Anderson, Jeff Alloway shooting up the gap now. They're inside the top 10. So is Stephen Wallace Jr., Carson Bowers, Larry Hagan poking that 21 out. So still a 22-car pack up front. Any of these guys could win it. It just has to be on a good run by them to get up to the lead. And then all you got to do is hang on up front. Side by side for second now as Kukulon jumps to the inside of Jefferson. Go forth on top. Porta on top. Curtis getting real squirrely back there. Now they're 3 wide again. Friesen's getting aggressive. You can see that 85 wants to go. And Stephen Wallace Jr. was almost pushed into Hagan there. It looked like with Max Anderson up top. A lot of strong guys up front, but a good pack of underdogs still in this fight. There you see Austin Johnson. Evan Hunter getting caught up quick by DeLello. See Jefferson with a big run on the outside as Alloway screwed up front. There's Benyako and Downey. They're just hanging on to the back, and Onjak's still on pit road for that oil leak for the 44. But as I said, I don't think Onjak's too worried about what's going on right now. Kukulon and Goforth, they're going to be up front anyway. There's not much he can do now, so you may as well just take your time, you know. Take your time, get that car repaired, make sure it's all right. And, you know, even so, rest your crew for next week, because once you go back to pit stops at Chicagoland, those are going to be important if he's trying to win that race in front of the home crowd for the second year in a row. Kukulon's clear into second. Look at Tib Foster, two-time Daytona winner. Swept both races last year in the defending Gatorade 400 champ. He's right now 3 wide for that 4th position. We'll see if that 40 can get up here, because it looks like it's him and Carson Bowers leading the Yonge Auto torch up here. As SWJ, Jefferson might have gotten a piece of the wall as well, but SWJ definitely gets a big piece of it. And that's going to split this pack up even more. So hard to get around this Daytona track. So hard to keep pace, to stay up in front, and to stay leading this race. And Irving Allison, Kukulon, Jeff Alloway, all 3 of them have led for many laps today. Carter Friesen, a little torn between what he wanted to do. He's going to stick with Kukulon, though, but I think that's going to be the bad choice there. Alloway's going to be able to make that move. And Foster has the 55 of Morris shoving him through the corner. Here comes these two. They've been kind of at the back all day. Morris was involved in that crash earlier. He had some damage from it. He had some contact in it. He's up in the 6th position for BGM right now. Look at the run that Valvoline car is having. As Jefferson's going to get a piece of the wall again, that's going to hold up Bowers, losing a ton of time there for those guys, and now that's going to cost Jefferson, Goforth, Bowers a ton of time in that 48 car, and that might split this pack up completely. He's going to jump down in front of Colton Lane. So we still have time. We still have a long time left. There's your damaged 5. There's Murray, 187 on his own, still is meeting minimum speed. There you see Ray at the back. That's that 5-car pack that's off the pace now. Dusty Neal not wanting to be a part of that, but as we go, it's Irving Allison out in front over Friesen. 25 of 50 complete here at Daytona. 22 cars in this front pack to decide it here at the end. We got a long way left in the Gatorade 400. Take a quick commercial break. Bring guys back to the action here at Daytona right after this. Back live here at Daytona as the lead has changed hands. Irving Allison got past heading into turn number 3 last time by, but now Carter Friesen jumps to the inside of Alloway after pushing him to the front, and it's Friesen going back to the point. 22 cars still in this main pack. It looks like 65, 69, 83, 25 just barely hanging on in the draft back there as Friesen takes the lead back. And you can see these guys are getting a lot more aggressive now as the halfway point has gone through. We're 2 and 3 wide, trying to form this pack up, see what you can do. But the major factor here is Carter Friesen is the one fighting for this race win to try to stay in the chase. He's 12th in points right now, would be able to gain some with Anderson Reed being out. Jeff Alloway, it'd just be a win for the rookie in the 91, excuse me there. As he, again, he just wants to win this race, way too far gone to make the chase, and he only had a half season of competition. I don't think the NSDCA would give him a waiver for that because he wasn't even supposed to race until then. As Kukulon now, Alloway's going to throw a major block on the 19 heading into turn number 3. Onjak's still on pit road. And now Burkhart, the 99's bringing himself up. DJ Curtis, DeLello, Hagen, all on that inside line. Win the race, you could be fighting for the wild card chance. These guys are going to need it today, but Jeff Alloway is putting on a show for the fans in that 91 out in front. Irving Allison to the inside of Kukulon now. Burkhart up to 4th. Foster in 5th as he gets by Friesen. Curtis up the track. He also got Matthew Eves, Max Anderson, Evan Hunter. Look at Austin Johnson now. He's the owner-driver guy in the Cup Series, kind of the back marker of those. As Irving's going to go back for the race lead. Toyota Dominance looking for their 11th win in 17 races on the year, if they can get it done today at Daytona. But Toyota never really works together well at the super speedways. We'll see if they squabble or if they work together, try to pull away. But now Kukulon's got a nose to the inside of Irving. They're not going to work together. Irving leads that lap, but Kukulon is pushing for everything he's got on the inside. So we take a survey of this front pack of the guys that are in must-win scenarios. Burkhart, Friesen, DeLello, Curtis, Hagen, Eves, SWJ, Alex Banyako, Carson Bowers. A couple of those guys might not be must-win, but a win would definitely save them. Those are the guys that are trying to win this race to make the chase in a much safer drive. Some of these guys have already won multiple races this year. Chicagoland, Goforth, to name 2 of them. Morris back there as well. You got one-time winners this year on the inside. Foster and Porta, 2 road course winners trying to get it done on the super speedway. And you got guys that are just looking to go out here and win a race. Evan Hunter, Austin Johnson, Max Anderson, Jeff Alloway, all in this front pack. You got a lot of storylines, but only one of them is going to stand in victory lane. 20 to go at Daytona. Foster moving that 40 up to the front. We're going to take a quick look back. It looks like Eves might have got a piece of the wall there, so now that drops him back to Jefferson. Jefferson was dominating the early stages of the race in the 48, or, well, not dominating the race. He started on pole, and he had a good car, and he does have a car. It's the same car that he drove the Sundrop 500 with. He knows he can get it done because he almost got it done in the Sundrop 500. He just needs some clean air to get that car out in front. There's Downey, Benyako, Eves, and Bowers. I don't know if Bowers is too happy about being back here, but Anderson Reed being at the very back is good for him. Carter Friesen being at the front is not good for him. But Dusty Neal also being at the back is pretty good for him as well. There is that pack of 5. They just entered turn number 3. So these guys are heading down the back straightaway, so they'll be catching that pack soon. But again, those 5 have met minimum speed with being in a pack. That kind of helps you meet minimum speed. Foster there in third now as he closes in on Burkhart and Kugelon. That's 2 SBR guys leading this train. 2 Monster Motorsports guys behind Foster and 2 BGM guys right there as well. Foster's in a bit of a sandwich being up here all by himself, with Carson Bowers being unable to move his way up through the pack. But I don't think Tibb really needs a teammate. He didn't really have much to go on when he won the Sundrop 500 last year, when there were only so few cars left. He knows how to get it done at the super speedways. He also has a good buddy in him, Matty Porta. These two have fought for wins countless times, at least on the road courses. Foster's come out with him a lot. Maybe Porta will try to work together with Tibb, because Porta's not safe either. He's in 9th in points, but still, he doesn't want to have to fall back on the wild card spot. He wants to gain as many spots in the points as he can as they race on through here. Irving Allison clearing to 5th. DJ Curtis 6th, starting to get single file out in front, with Kukulon maintaining that race pace and pacing the race leaders. Evan Hunter in the top 10. There's Colton Lane, Stephen Wallace Jr., Max Anderson. And the second half of this pack is starting to break up. That's Benyako, Bowers, Eves, DeLello back there. And they are not running too close to these guys in terms of lap time, draft, or top speed. Got this pack of 5 back there, so Yepez's hopes are done for this year. Neal's hopes might be done for this year with a poor finish today. But we still got 22 cars under a blanket up front, still in the draft of each other, trying to go for this race win. 16 to go this time by. Irving Allison top to bottom, trying to find anywhere he can as Toyota is looking to take a top 5 here now, as Burkhart kind of got shoved up by Irving. They're going to check those 2 up. Now Irving goes up, blocks that outside line. Now he goes back to the inside, but I think Cody's going to be there. No, just squeezes in front of his teammate. And look what's lining up behind Kukulon is a BGM train of Irving, Cody, and Morris. I think these guys will be a bit more inclined to work with themselves than the SBR duo, or at least for Kukulon out in front. Burkhart maybe not, but we already saw Irving just tricked Brady and sent that 99 to the back. We'll see what BGM does. It looks like Toyota might be finally wising up and working together on the super speedways, as BGM plus SBR makes your top 5. And now Irving's going to take a shot to the inside on Kukulon. Sebi slams the door, but now he has Goforth all over the back of him. Burkhart carries into 4th. Morris is 5th. That's 5 Toyotas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the P2M driver and his team owner behind him, and 2 solo operations for those teams in 6th and 7th. But it's a Toyota top 5 like it's been so many times this season. Toyota dominance shining here at Daytona. And Irving, as I said, I don't think the BGM guys were going to stick with SBR for too long. Brady's not going to stick with Kukulon. He knows where to go, and Morris goes with him. Those 2 childhood best friends right there that were used to be teammates in the NSDCA in the inaugural season. No longer, but they're still working together, and Irving going to go up and block Kukulon as Morris is trying to push Burkhart into the chase. Long way to go in this race still. It's going to take a miracle, I think, for anyone but Toyota to win this one with how many cars they got up here and how fast they are. But I think Jeff Alloway and Carter Friesen have been the only 2 to really make moves on them. And I'm not going to write off this 91 car just yet. For Jeff Alloway, could make his first career win in his 10th NSDCA start. If he does so here at Daytona, he's in the top 10 right now as Morris now jumps to the inside of Burkhardt. And it looks like that second half of the pack has dropped away. That's Gatlin, Downey, Bowers, Benyako, Eves, DeLello. That's big. All four of these guys are fighting for points. Eves, that's going to be his championship hopes over. He's 25th in points. He would have needed a miracle anyway. DeLello, Benyako, Bowers are all within about 20 points of that 10th position, which is Bowers currently. But I think right now, 10th in points would be going to this man right here in the 85 of Carter Friesen, who's running pretty strongly up in front. DJ Curtis is a must-win scenario in the 5. Same with Burkhardt. Those two are probably going to be too far back from Carter Friesen as they run. Because if Carter Friesen is the guy 10th in points as they stand and those two finish behind him, well, you got a pretty clear shot of where you are in terms of the standings. Coming around, it's going to be 12 to go this time by. Look who's finally awakened. Monster Motorsports had Porta and Curtis up here. Now Colton Lane's starting to throw his might in the ring in the LG60. He's up in the 4th position, side by side with Morris for 3rd. Friesen's going to jump down, and there goes Alloway. We said if anyone is going to get around the Toyota guys, it's going to be the 91 of Alloway, and that's going to put the rookie back into the top spot. We haven't seen many underdog winners in the Sundrop Cup Series at Daytona in a while, and I just saw a look just ahead. There's the 5 cars. Almost forgot about that. But again, they met minimum speed. We can't kick them off the track legally. And here we go. This is going to pretty much give you who will be running for the race win. 11 laps to go this time by. Once that pack of about 5 cars works through this pack of about 18 or 19, we'll see who is out in front and ready to win this race. And that's a big thing about the super speedway. He's got to manage lap traffic as well as the draft, as Irving's going to jump down in front of teammate Morris and look for that top spot on Alloway. I think he's going to get it. He got the nose under there. Alloway has no one formed up on the outside, and give it back to Irving Allison, looking for his 2nd win on the year. Still don't count out Carter Friesen. Brady Burkhardt back there. Look at the 51. Austin Johnson with Evan Hunter. That was Austin's old ride in the 35. Austin Johnson's inside the top 10 now in that 51, trying his best to hang on, but really lost time getting shuffled out of the pack there. This is the race for the win. You're all the way down to Stephen Wallace Jr., who is currently in the 17th position, so a 17-car front pack fighting for this win. A good few underdogs up here as Alloway's going to jump back to the bottom. He wants to win on the big tracks. He wants to show that he is worthy of a cup seat next year. Back to the inside of Irving Allison. And there's Luke Evans now. 192. He's fallen off the pack, so they'll deal with one lapper before the 4 of them. We'll see what Luke does to that as is. But here we go. Look at the pack starting to spread out already. Max Anderson in the 12, he lost a ton of time. I thought he was slow. He's not slow. He's just losing time. Now BGM lines up nose to tail behind Alloway. And there is Luke Evans. So the lappers are going to be the factor here at the end of this one, as it's Jeff Alloway, the rookie, leading at Daytona. 9 laps to go in the Gatorade 400. Max Anderson into the wall. I think that's going to kill him. He has no one behind him to help him draft, so he's going to have to hope these lappers really hold up your race leaders. And it's a 2-car tango out in front with Alloway and Irving Allison. We'll see where Luke Evans goes in terms of this in the 81. They go up top. Alloway's going to jump to the bottom. Irving's going to use it as a chance to get by him as they go 3 wide with Luke Evans. Luke's staying up top though, so he's going to be at least out of a good, at least the primary line here, unless he tries to jump down in front of Colton Lane and almost make contact with him. Now there's your 4 cars. They're all slower, but not too slow in comparison at least to the 81 that was solo. And now Carter Friesen is looking for 3rd on Morris. So this could be BGM versus Pedal to Metal Racing, except it's the owner of Pedal to Metal Racing and the future teammates there. It's in Carter Friesen and Jeff Alloway. Now that's going to hold up Chicagoland, Goforth, Johnson, Porta a good bit. And look at that. Everyone's getting single filed out now. And I think that's probably going to be the best chance for these guys, is if you get single filed out now, just work your way past these 4, which is going to be hard because you got 4 cars that are trying to stay on the lead lap and still fighting for position, and they have every right to fight for their position. Just because they're slow doesn't mean they can't just hang on out in front of these guys. And Irving, look at the run they got on the outside. Irving got on the 8, but now we'll see if Irving can fight the slower cars on his own because they're running together probably about the same as a solo driver, but now Monaco's in front of Irving. And this is going to shake everything up. You got Eli Bright, Eric Monaco, and look at Morris. Morris jumps up to the outside. He has faith in Irving in that 16, and Irving's going to get a push past Eli Bright. Now Bright's going to go to the middle here because Alloway's on the bottom, and the BGM duo's working together to try to get by Eli Bright, but now they're going to be forced on the outside, and that's going to bring Alloway back to the inside as they're working through this. You got 4 cars under a blanket that were slower, but they're slowing everyone else down now. That is beneficial for, look at that, Max Anderson caught back up. The rest of them are trying to hang on, and it's Jeff Alloway now out in front with Carter Friesen and Irving Allison as everyone's working past Eli Bright back there. Alloway jumps back to the inside. Friesen is pushing that 91 for what it's got. I don't know if Friesen really cares about the chase right now. If he can see the young driver that had no stock car experience whatsoever get to victory lane for his own team. As Carter goes up, he did not see that move. Burkhart jumps and fills the gap. Now the 24 and 04 are going to be shoved to the outside, so Alloway's going to get past those two. Monaco's holding up Irving Allison. And we're coming around to 5 laps to go. Still a long way left in this one. If they can clear the lappers, we'll have a race to the finish. And look who's in the top 5. Jeff Alloway, Colton Lane, and Evan Hunter in the 35. But Burkhart now, he's a must-win scenario in that Toyota. Eli Bright's in the wall, trying to stay out of the way of many people as possible. The 07's holding up now the 55, 5, and 40. That's going to cost DJ Curtis time. Now, good portion of his front group is starting to clear the lap traffic. Jesse Turner goes down, blocks Irving Allison. Murray is going to cost Carter Friesen a lot, but down this back straightaway, here we go. Colton Lane sees Kukulon making the move, wants to jump down and say he's going with him, and here we go. As you see, the lappers now all shoved on the outside. These guys are going to work their way past him. I don't know if these guys at the back are going to have enough time to get back up to the front, but we're coming around. 4 laps to go at Daytona, and it is the rookie Jeff Alloway pacing the field. 2x2 behind him. Will Pedal to Metal Racing get their first Cup Series win with the rookie? Jesse Turner goes down, blocks Foster, so I don't know if that was an Angiato team meeting or what between those two. So Foster's probably not too happy about that, but we have a pack of cars right here, all the way back to Morris, who sits, I believe, 14th. Broken by lappers. Colton Lane with the momentum. Lane's going to go up the middle, but Kukulon is going to get the run in the 19 to the inside of Alloway, and there goes Alloway's hopes and dreams as Stephen Wallace Jr.'s moved up the track. That was a chance for SWJ to sneak in there. Here comes Jefferson, and just like the Sundrop 500, when you had all the underdogs up front, the 2 kings of plate racing this season are now first and third at least, as Jeff Alloway's looking for a move. He tucked back into second. He's not done yet. Top 3 single file. Will Alloway get the momentum? Carter Friesen is back in this. Look at BGM coming up. BGM has power. They have speed, and they have the chance to win this. Does Kukulon have anything to hold off the 91 or the 48? Alloway looks low, kind of held it low. Jefferson's going to go to the bottom, but no one goes with him. Friesen doesn't go with him. We'll see if the 48 can clear the 91. He will not, as Alloway's going to sneak back into second. So Jeff Alloway could be runner-up to Kukulon, or he could get his first win. 2 to go here, and he's backing off. Look at that. He backed off of Kukulon, coming off of 4, trying to mount a charge. If anyone will go with him, will Jefferson push the 91 back up there? They're going to have some momentum coming down the front straightaway. Who will be able to get up there and pass the 19 with 2 laps to go? And it's Alloway leading the charge. We'll see. Does he have enough momentum building up? He has a couple miles per hour over him. Alloway coming off the corner. Will he have anything for the 19 of Kukulon? He backed the car up. He's looking to the inside. Look at Irving Allison in the 16. He's going to try to get up there. Leaves Jefferson. Alloway comes with a full head of steam. Kukulon throws the block in the 19. Coming around to the white flag. Does anyone have anything for Sebastian Kukulon? As Alloway backs off again, will BGM go with him, or will they go himself? Kukulon out in front over the field, and Irving Allison, Cody Goforth are going to line up behind him. Does Toyota work together to get by Kukulon, or will he get his 4th win of the year? Into turn 2. This is the big factor right here. Will Irving or Goforth have enough momentum to swing around the 19 down the back straightaway? They have speed, but do they have the time to catch and pass the 19 of Chicagoland down the back straightaway for the final time? Irving's looking for it. He doesn't have enough momentum. He goes to the bottom anyway, trying anything he can. Chicagoland's going to be able to fend it off. And fourth win of the year as he comes out of turn number 4. Chicagoland and Toyota are back for the chase. Chicagoland is going to come down the front straightaway and sweep the Daytona races this season. Sebastian Chicagoland wins the Gatorade 400. BGM top 3 with Irving Allison and Goforth. Alloway 5th, a great run, but was close to a win. Morris 7th. Look at all the Toyotas up here. Friesen 10th. I think that should be enough to get him back into the fight for the regulars or for the top 10 spots. Anderson Reed in that crash is going to cost him a ton of time. Jefferson I don't think he led a lap today. Heartbreaking for the 48. He had a car to beat, but I think Alloway got too greedy coming off of turn number 4 that last time. Tried to back it up again because that's all he knew how to do. Because it almost worked last time, and that cost the BGM duo enough. But Irving made a shot there at the end, but Cody just could not clear the 91 and give him the push coming down the back that he needed to go to victory lane. And it will be Sebastian Chicagoland, his 4th win of the season, marking Toyota's 11th in 17. And him and Morris now making up 8 of 17 races won by just those 2 alone. Well, that puts it in, and when you see the points, you'll know exactly what we're looking at for Chicagoland. No ifs, ands, or buts. It comes down to one race for anyone to make the chase. I'm going to say Tip Foster, Irving Allison with 2 top 10 finishes, top 5 and a top 10 for the 2 of them. I think that's going to lock both of them into the chase. Matty Porta as well had a great run. That could lock him. We'll see, though. But I think it'll be down to Bowers, Friesen, and maybe that's it. And Anderson Reed maybe, but a lot of guys had some poor finishes today. DeLello, Benyako, Neal were in that second pack that fell off a pretty good margin. Friesen finished up front. Reed was in the crash, and Bowers was in a pack that was off the pace as well. So it's going to be interesting, but I think the points still tighten up. Burkhart, I don't know. He might have a shot at being able to point his way in, especially with the top 10 finish there. Larry Hagan possible, but Murray, Srigley, Curtis definitely out of it. Same with Logan Cloud, probably Stephen Wallace Jr., Yepes Ray, Eves as well. But you'll see when the points come up what happened, exactly what happened. That is just my inference right now. Onjak failing to finish the race. I don't know. He was just 37 laps down, so they just kept it out there and he watched from the car, I guess. But that probably doesn't mean he's entirely locked in, but he's going to have at least, well, Chicagoland did win the race, so I think it's going to be about a 40-point swing between them. And still, Onjak's going to have to run maybe top 20 at Chicagoland, but he's not going to have to push too hard for that regular season title. But I think that right there just said, hey, buddy, don't slip up once because Chicagoland's going to capitalize. SBR comes home with the victory at Daytona. That means both seasons so far at Daytona. We've had both races swept. We'll see what happens in Season 3 at Daytona for the Sundrop Cup Series. We still have Talladega left for the superspeedway action, though. Chicagoland wins over Allison, Goforth, Porta, and Alloway after a valiant attempt from Alloway to win that race. A great race was had. We head to Chicagoland next week for the final race before the chase. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.